This video is about calling built-in functions. To take advantage of functions that are part of programming languages, we need to call them. Print is a function that is common to almost all programming languages. And here's an example of a line of code that calls the function named print, giving it the input hello world. I just used the term call, but there are three words that are equivalent. We can say the function is called, that it is executed, or that it is invoked. And I like to think of this as a two-step process. First, the value of the input is sent to the function, and then the function executes its instructions. This code results in the message hello world being printed to the screen. Some functions return values. Many programming languages come with libraries that perform mathematical functions, and many of those return values. Let's consider the function here that will compute the average of all the numbers in a list. In this example, I've got the list 5, 6, 7. I'm going to compute the average. I'm expecting the output to be 6. Let's step through the process of executing this function. So I have my line of code with the input. When we call the function, now there's 3 steps. The input is sent to the function executes its instructions, and then the value is returned from the function. And we illustrate it like this. So step 1, I'm putting that value in, sending it. Step 2, the function is executing. I'm not actually showing anything on the screen because I don't know what the code is in that. I don't need to. All I know is it's doing its thing. And then a value is returned. And I like to illustrate that by showing, okay, the function is executed, which means it's no longer running. We cross it out and we replace it by the value that that function returns. And it's really useful to have functions that return values, but we need to do something with that return value. So I'm going to repeat the example now, but I'm going to put it in the context of code that is a little more useful. So this code here calls compute average, but notice it's on the right-hand side of an assignment statement. That arrow means I'm going to assign the return value from compute average to a variable named mean. So now this is embedded in a two-step process. First, I'm going to call my function compute average, and second, I'm going to take that return value and assign it into a variable. So I've got my symbol table all set up on the right. I'm calling my function, sending that input. Now it's doing its thing, computing 5, 6, 7, it's gonna get me 6. It's done. It says, I finished, my value is 6. So now it's time to finish the assignment. Now I have an assignment statement in which 6 is going to be assigned to the variable named mean. It gets added to the symbol table, and voila, we can use a variable named mean now to print out or do whatever we want to do with the average of the list 5, 6, 7. But there's one more thing that often happens, and that is that when we call a function, we're not just writing the list value directly in there. We might have that list, or maybe a data frame, if this is R, in a variable. So I want to go through this example one more time, showing how we take the input and pass it into the function. So again, I have pretty much the same example. I'm going to compute the average of the list 5, 6, 7 and put it into a variable named mean. This time though, my symbol table already has a variable named nums whose value is a list 5, 6, 7. And as before, first I need to call the function, and then I need to finish the assignment statement. So here, step 1 means instead of just trying to pass in some variable, I go to the table, I look up the value, I take that value, and that value is what gets sent to the function. Then compute average does its computation, and when it's finished, it says, I'm done. Here's your value. It is 6, and then we finish the assignment statement. Thank you.